Boom.
You would appreciate that. I picked that up on my trip.
That's very cool. I gotta pick up a new controller. The C buttons on this don't work.
This one's still fresh.
Nice.
Is that the one you were gonna sell me, Wolf?
Keep showing your stuff off. But we're
had I
live,
known you
just
were looking
FYI.
for it, it's got the Zelda decals on it, but those could come off.
Oh.
And I got the
Nobody
GBA
likes
on the
Zelda.
bottom.
What are you talking about?
Is that Dawn of Souls? No, Origins.
Yeah, Dawn of Souls was GBA.
Chronics.
Okay, we should be live everywhere now, I think.
Anthologies. That's cool.
Speaking of, boom.
Greatest hits. Oh, 6. Nice. And we got 7 right there. Hold on, I'm not done. I got this little hidden gem.
Oh, that little gem.
Final Fantasy.
I've not heard of that one.
And then 9. 8's about somewhere. Holy cow.
If I see 8, I'm leaving.
Hey, Jeff. We're going to start in just a minute.
I got all of those back here somewhere. Oh, nice. Did you have to buy a second one because one was scratched up?
Damn.
No. A cousin of mine was getting rid of his copies of Anthology and Chronicles. And I just said, hey, I think I was missing 6 from my Chronicles. So they sent them to me. So
neat.
Did they call it the Cron?
Yeah, the Chronic. The Cron.
The Cron.
Guys, I need a favor.
Star Trek character.
What's up?
Somebody want to host this episode?
I'm taking myself out of contention because I'm only familiar with one of the games.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Sinistar set us up to fail because I know like 3.
You guys want to talk about Tyson's Punch Out? We could do that.
I can pull up a Wikipedia page for comic book movies. We can rank them real quick. How about we do that?
Comic book movies? Get out of here.
If only we had a couple comic book fans on the podcast chart.
I don't read comic books, so
yeah, okay.
I live them.
I don't. I just collect them.
Well,
I've never read a page. I don't know how to read. I mean, I guess I can throw myself on the fire since everybody's just jumping at the bit.
I mean, I'm only familiar with like 3 of them too, but I guess I could host.
Nope.
All right, I will host.
Got you.
It's fine. It's
nope.
fine.
I got you, BBs.
Hopefully, we're all familiar with different games.
No,
I've played all
new
these.
Rise of Nations. Let's just do a Rise of Nations episode. Fuck it.
I'll tell you what. How about since we're shy one person today, you guys be the 3-person vote for this, and I will be the tiebreaker.
Okay.
Well,
I'll be the
I
hat.
figured
You'll be the hat. I am the hat.
Look at me. I am the hat now.
I'm the hat now.
I'm the happen. But what up, K-Shape? Welcome to the chat.
That's good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Speaking of, people who sent me things. That's where that came from. Thank you.
Stuff and things. This was a
Stuff
gift from
things.
Blitzprom. It says mimics will tongue punch your fart box. So that was fun.
Yeah.
That was a fun quote that decided to get turned into an immortalized t-shirt. So thanks, guys.
Well, whenever you guys are ready, I guess.
Born.
Oh, we're not already going?
Well, we're live.
I thought we were there. Thanks,
we
guys.
have not
See you next
officially
week.
kicked off yet.
That's a good episode.
Solid start.
This is what timestamps are for.
Strong finish.
Click here to get to the start of the
One more from
episode.
the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Avoid the banter.
Oh.
You got it, Jake? Are you good?
Wait, am I hosting now? Okay.
I thought you just said.
You just said you were going to.
It's been
Yeah, but then you
3
told me you
years.
got me. Apparently, you
It's
know
been
what?
3
Okay.
years we've been doing this.
Fuck.
All
No,
right.
it's fine.
All right.
Fuck
Nope,
it.
Nope.
I-
I'm doing it.
look.
Hey. All right.
I got it.
Hey. No, you don't got shit. Opening line. Minerals depleted. RTSs, and which one's the best? Today on.
Fuck that hat.
No fucking the hat over the intro.
want to be the head anymore.
Nice non-explicit episode we had there.
Wow.
Yeah. Lasted while it could.
Guys, welcome one and all. As you can see, we totally have all of our shit together tonight. Today, we are going to talk about real-time strategy games. That's right, real-time strategy games that would include wonderful gems, hidden gems, such as Warcraft, StarCraft, Minecraft, Kraft Mac and Cheese, or Blue Box, as they talk about that up in Canada, and other crafts up there. No, Minecraft and Blue Box is not there. We're not talking about that. But we are gathered today with some wonderful people here. I've got I'm not a friend. I've got 3 out of my 4 friends here tonight. Guys, Sinistar is currently real-time strategizing his way out of his house right now. He is gathering armies and getting resources so he can trek forth through the rocky Colorados and maybe go find some beer. I don't know what his motives are, but we wish him the best of luck. And I hope he can go and conquer that brewery that he's trying to take down. But with me today, again, of course, are 3 of the best people I know on the planet. Werewolf, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, but if I'm one of the 3 best people you know on the planet, that doesn't say a lot for humanity.
Wow. I disagree. You bring that ray of hope that everybody needs. So I'll go with that. Speaking of rays of sunshine, Sick Jake, how are you?
Oh, I thought you were going to be last. I'm good. For the record, Chard, we do have Minecraft here, but we do not have Blue Box. We have Craft Dinner. It comes in Blue Box, but we don't refer to it as Blue Box. That's not proper. That's just not how we do things in Canada.
Macaroni and cheese?
No, Minecraft these nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Speaking of nuts and Blue Boxes, GP, how are you today? Segway
Confused
station.
now. I thought I was doing okay. Minecraft is actually what they call Kraft Mac and Cheese in Germany. Minecraft.
That's
Mine,
accurate.
Mine and Kraft. Okay. Anyway, listen.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, I get it.
So someone recently told me that they found it surprising how relatively well-adjusted of a human being I am, given certain circumstances. And I have thought about that for 4 days now, and everyone should be terrified. So,
if you're not already, you're behind.
Minecraft. See, it's Minecraft because in German.
Minecraft.
Yes, there it is. Yeah. See, my German just sounds angry all the time.
Guys, we're gonna get canceled if we don't get off the German talk.
You're not supposed to talk about Germans?
Wow. Anyways, we're gonna Osfart this conversation, which is exit in Germany. Thank you very much.
Wait, hold on. Stop. Ausfart is...
Yeah, it's either that or Osking. I can't remember which one was on-ramp or off-ramp, but...
Okay, I thought Ausfart was like the biggest city in the world, because every time I would drive down the Autobahn, it would say Ausfart. I'm like, this town is everywhere.
No, that's to get the hell off the road is what that means.
So many questions.
Yeah. So,
Donka.
Listen, I can talk about it. I lived there for 2.5 years, so it's fine. I'm the resident German of the podcast. Speaking of residents, RTSs, guys. Jake got a letter from the International Olympic Committee, and he accidentally forwarded it to me because he thought it was junk mail for me, and he was wrong. However, I don't have any of the selections, so I have to go into a digital box here because I thought somebody else was going to host this. So as you can see, excellently prepared for this episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach deep down inside, and I'm going to go into the order that we have here.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. See,
I have the brackets.
You have the brackets.
No.
Okay.
No.
See, I will defer to Jake for the brackets.
I'm gone for 3 weeks.
They've been randomized by the machine algorithm, Chard. We don't fuck with the algorithm.
They have been purposely ordered.
Machine,
which, you know what? Today, I'm fine with it. But don't lie to us.
I have a system of links set up in tabs, and if you go out of order, it fucks me up.
Does it?
Yes, it does. So I have the spreadsheet.
Is there a way that I can get my hands on this, or should I just defer to you, sir?
Oh, okay. Give me a sec. Fuck
It
it.
doesn't
Going,
really
going
want other
against
people
the
to host.
algorithm. What's wrong with the society
mostly-
we live
yeah.
in?
Who wants
This
to
is
Who wants
madness.
to deliver the opening line? That's what it is.
I mean, it wasn't a bad one, I didn't think, for
No, it was a good
thinking
line.
on the
It was a good
spot.
line.
It was good. It was good.
We
It was
are
great until you went
we
off
are
the script.
very
That's
well
good.
put together group of friends doing a very professional gaming podcast that
Mhm.
we're killing it this week. This is a good one.
Okay, Chard, I'm
Top
sending you
notch,
the
top
link in
tier.
Discord.
There's a
Oh.
reason we're number
Oh.
17.
The IOC
Oh, wait,
has,
hold on though.
has reached out to me.
Wolf is saying we're number 17. I love to hear about rankings. Where are we?
In what
17th at?
country?
I don't know. We often
Zimbabwe?
come in at like 15 to 17 on some good pods ranking.
You understand? We're not even in the top 5 in my household. So I love.
Yeah, same. I asked my wife, "Do you listen to my podcast?" No.
You have a podcast.
Yeah.
you get-
we have
wait,
a
what?
podcast.
I usually get who are you and why do you keep breaking in? But that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's all good.
All right.
Okay, so I have
So,
with
Chard,
me here an envelope
Do me a
from the
favor.
IOC. Huh?
Start with in the envelope. Start with line 6. Okay.
Hold on, let me.
What?
Okay, we've got it open. All right, I'm looking at it. Line 6.
Yes, I
Is that the
bolded
one
it for
that's
you.
in bold? Is that the
Yes.
bold one? Okay.
That's the first bracket, please.
Do we not have an envelope budget? I'm sorry. I can spot us 40 cents if we need to buy a couple dozen
Well,
Listen,
envelopes.
Yeah.
If you
these
like.
are- Let me
extremely well
get.
put together.
Let me
I
go
got
into
4
the
envelopes.
envelope.
That's
Was it a
nice.
ginger snaps bag? What was that?
It was a Lindor truffle bag, but don't worry about it. I get my stuff from high grade. All right. They like to send me chocolates because we do so well. Okay.
Is it important that I'm here for this?
Yes.
I'm
Important
kidding.
you're
I'm
here for
kidding. I love you
everything.
guys.
Listen, if this boat's going down, we're all sitting on it tonight. All right. All right.
I will hold my hands up and surrender.
Okay. So
I will go down with that ship.
we've picked
I don't
8
have any
games,
paper, but it's
right? 8 games.
Yeah.
There are countless real-time strategy games. It was very difficult to narrow it down to 8, but we somehow managed to do it. I think we asked the community on Discord, got some ideas there. We all had ideas. Sinister had a bunch of ideas. we'll do our best to give them justice.
Be around.
And in addition to the 8 games, if for some reason we can't agree on something, if there's a tie and we want to mix it up, I got 4 mystery envelopes, well, cue cards that were thrown at me
mystery
this
posted.
morning. I
The
don't know
IOC
what's
posted.
on them, but they're there if you would like to use them. And I promise this time they're good picks, not a Turok 2 Insight, okay? They're there if you want them.
If there's a Circus Charlie in there, I'm quitting this podcast.
I just got an email from YouTube letting me know we're the first channel in history to have a negative viewership. This is cool. Live. I mean, a live negative viewership.
You can't even give this away.
It's fine.
They're
This is
charging
This is the
content.
best shit on the
runtime.
internet. If I'm being honest, this is the best thing on the internet.
You know, we only have 8 games to pick from, but it's still going to be a 2-hour episode. Okay, so the
Oh.
first bracket, because we can't get out of our own ways. Command and Conquer Red Alert 2, Yori's Revenge versus StarCraft Brood War. Who wants to talk about this first? GP?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My vote is Command and Conquer Red Alert 2, Yori's Revenge. I'm not huge, as they say, into the RTS community. And I'll say it this way, my relationship with my brother has been kind of hit or miss, but one thing we have and always will agree on is Command and Conquer Red Alert and its offshoots and sequels are fantastic. That soundtrack to that, I think it's the Hell March. I remember hearing that for the first time in like the late 90s, and I was just blown away, and it was cool, and it was like powerful and kind of scary. And I ever since then have been a big fan of Command and Conquer, but specifically the Red Alert series. So my vote, Red Alert.
All right, we got 1 for CNC.
Yeah, so this is a good pick, or this is a good choice of games. This is when Westwood was starting to get really into the whole idea of live action cutscenes, and that's why I wanted this one versus the original Red Alert. So this was done by, I think this came out in 2000. It's Westwood Studios. And at the same time of Command & Conquer, they also did a Dune 2000, I think it was. And they really leaned into the live action casting. And the casting choice in this game was pretty decent. A whole lot of like B-level actors you'll recognize. Not quite like Tim Curry famous, like in Red Alert 3, but there's definitely a lot of B-list actors I recognize. And plus it features Yuri, who is one of the most fucked up, weird, weird villains in a game I've seen. And the fact that this was a video game and these were what they used as cutscenes, I thought it was just astounding. So I really do like Red Alert 2. Compared against StarCraft Brood War, I've played it. I've never been good at StarCraft, but I have. You have to recognize how important StarCraft Brood War is, because basically the national sport of South Korea. It's like the esport before CS:GO, right? It was always StarCraft as the big game. So you got to respect StarCraft. So I'm kind of torn between the two. I love the cutscenes in Command & Conquer. I love the acting. I love the alternate future type thing with Russia, the Cold War stuff. But Brood War is an institution in Korea alone. Like there's millions of fans of that franchise.
Okay, I don't think that StarCraft had Gary Oldman the way that Yuri's Revenge did. And while I don't have facts to back that up, I don't think anybody can really prove that Gary Oldman wasn't playing somebody in that game.
That's a strong argument. It's a strong argument. Wolf?
I am going to not vote on this one because I have never played a Command and Conquer. And if I were to vote, it would be unfair because I've never played one and I can't stand the other.
There you go.
Well, which one don't you can't stand StarCraft?
No.
Okay, what don't you like about StarCraft?
I have never been able to enjoy it. It just feels like it's every match lasts maybe 10 minutes and it's over. Like
That's still a record in my house.
that's not what that's not what real-time strategy is to me. That's too fast for a real-time strategy game. So
Fast
I
Invasion.
have never been a fan of
That's
StarCraft.
also a line I hear a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
premature.
sure.
Okay.
Premature.
I don't know.
All right.
It's interesting because like StarCraft brought in. I mean, StarCraft was great because it had the three very distinct factions, right? Like the Zergs, fast, cheap units swarm the enemy really quickly. You have the Protoss, which are very slow, fewer units. They have the pylon mechanic to get around, and then the humans can the humans move their bases in this game? Oh, sorry, the Terrans. My bad. The Terrans, I think, can float their buildings and move them. I think
Yes,
is one
they
thing
can
do.
relocate like their
Yeah.
headquarters, and a lot of their major buildings can be uplifted and removed to a different location.
So that was definitely very unique and cool. From what I recall from Red Alert, I think the units are a little bit different between the Americans and the Russian side, but they don't feel nearly as distinct as they do in StarCraft. Plus, StarCraft does have a pretty decent campaign for what it is. It's not as good as later entries that Blizzard has done, but it has a decent campaign. Although I gotta say, the early Blizzard CGI, I mean, this is not as bad as like Warcraft 2, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, later. But man, it's rough in terms of 3D animation. I think I might prefer the anime. I think I might prefer the live action in Red Alert. I think I'm gonna pick Red Alert. Just because of
That's
Yuri, his gaze alone, I think, and I kind of like the setting more. But I definitely have a lot of respect for StarCraft.
Word. Well, I lose this round because I'm going with StarCraft. StarCraft was one of my favorite RTSs growing up. Obviously, bridging the gap between Warcraft into StarCraft was kind of this really cool, you do the old timey orcs versus the humans thing, and then now you've got the futuristic of the three factions. I like the differentiation, like Jake said, about the three different factions. I like that you had to form creep to be able to spawn more of the Zerg. Thank you.
Right.
And there were penalties, and then there were bonuses between each creature that made it a unique gameplay for whomever team or whatever faction you were playing. The pylons, you had to build stuff close to the pylons. The Terrans, you can kind of go pretty much anywhere, but you can uplift and move around. They had a lot of really cool weapons, like the siege tank that would have two different modes where you can plant it and it turns into like a a mortar, cratering weapon that you can use. I played this a lot with a friend of mine growing up, and I used to run defense, and he would form the oppositions. So he would create all of the battle cruisers, and I'd have a wall of missile launchers and stuff, and we would just rake people left and right. I had a lot of fun growing up playing StarCraft. I'm nowhere near to the level of what a lot of the institutions that they have out there in the world, but it's a lot of fun. And my wife, when I'll say StarCraft 2 because it came out when her and I got together, and I did the midnight purchase and all that stuff. I'd be playing it late at night, and whenever you run out of something, it says minerals depleted, and it moves on to the next thing. Well, that is still a phrase used in this house, and my wife hates it. Hates it. She'll be, when she's annoyed, she goes, minerals depleted, because you would hear it every 5 minutes after each location would start losing, whatever you were grinding or farming out of there. So I'm a big StarCraft fan. The StarCraft grind with me is real. I love Command & Conquer. I thought Command & Conquer was a cool game. That was the one I think you can drop, like you can get spies that could sneak in other people's battle lines and drop nukes on people. But you can do the same thing in StarCraft with the Terrans, with certain levels of units that you can use for that too. So, but Command & Conquer started that, and then StarCraft utilized it in their stuff too. So it's, where it came from kind of thing, and respect your elders kind of thing. I just really like the space contour and the really different things about each faction you had to play as. So StarCraft gets my vote, although it loses. I still represent it proudly.
Hold on.
No, I think we can move on. We got a long episode ahead of us, and we've all voted now. And
the way you're talking about the way you're talking about StarCraft 2 now, I played a lot of it. And we don't have StarCraft 2 on this list, which I think we had a number of reasons why we didn't put it on here. I think the reason that Sinistar really didn't like this one was because they tried introducing like a seasons aspect to StarCraft 2, and that kind of turned him off of the whole franchise. So I think we leaned into StarCraft Brood War. The more I think about it, though, Chart, is just like I think this was a big franchise for Blizzard, and an underutilized one, because they really only had the 2 entries. There's no World of StarCraft, despite the rumors, right?
There should be. And that would have been awesome. It would have been
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I do like the characters. I do like Yuri. I like the Cold War stuff.
The fact that it's Blizzard, though, should be reason enough to vote for Command & Conquer, right?
Well, when shitty people make cool stuff, you can ignore the shitty people, but still like they're cool.
They weren't as shitty back then, though. So it's a scale of shit. They were okay back then.
They probably were shitty back then. We just didn't know about it.
I think I've changed my vote to StarCraft. I think I have to.
The more I think about I had to contribute to this entire episode was Command & Conquer, and now that dream has been taken from me.
Well, your input is appreciated.
We have a tie now.
Yeah. Do we?
Go to the hat.
No, we got to go to the...
Wolf abstained unless you want to take a vote.
I abstained.
Unless you want to vote, and we do have a tie, and we can pull an envelope. It's up to you.
I mean,
he said he didn't like StarCraft at all. Right? That's it.
Yeah,
that's
I don't like StarCraft,
vote.
But I've never played a Command & Conquer. So.
I hate this so much that even though I've never played it, I'd probably like it.
No. And when has experience or lack of research ever stopped us before? So you can still vote.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
These are, and the worst thing is, these are things I should have played because I have 2 and 3 on Origin or EA, whatever they call it now.
Do you own it? You haven't played it?
Nope, never played them, and I have them.
Bro, you know how many games that I have that I've still never touched? Come on.
At least I try them for 5 minutes at least.
No, I don't.
There's a lot of them that I barely try or don't try, and they just sit in my library for ages. I don't think I paid for them. At least I think they were free, but still.
At least there's that. Wolf, I think you should vote, and if it's a tie, that's why we have envelopes. I made 4 this time.
I will
I'm
vote
overprepared.
for Command & Conquer.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
all right.
my man.
Gosh.
Somebody pick a
Twist
color.
my arm.
Pick a color. Yeah, you got to play along. Engage with the conversation.
Fuchsia.
That's pink, right?
Sure. Puce.
Magenta.
Thank you.
Brutal Legend.
That's what I'm into.
So, Wolf, you're gonna have to explain Brutal Legend to the rest of us and how it's an RTS game.
So
If that changes anybody's mind.
this was my contribution to these little papers.
Proceedings.
So the first half of Brutal Legend is not real-time strategy at all. It's all like beat 'em up, platformer, action game, racing around, also like it's all over the board. And then you get to the second half of the game, and all of a sudden it's like real-time strategy, everything. You're flying around over the battlefield, constantly going to your troops and telling them where to go and what to do. And so it's presented in a weird way because it's not like you don't get that like super zoomed out overhead view. Instead, you're flying around to area, telling your troops what to do, where to go, and you do engage in some of the combat a little bit, but mostly it's your soldiers doing the work. And so it's it's kind of a joke that I mentioned this to begin with, but yeah.
I hope Final Fantasy VII's in there for their real-time strategy segment.
But I mean, it is legitimately a real-time strategy game for the second half of the game.
The second half, yeah. Does that change anybody's mind?
It threw me off so bad when I got to the second half.
No.
I was just like, "What is this?" And it's even like the multiplayer mode is the real-time strategy game.
When you told me this, Wolf, I thought you're making a joke because as far as I know, like a Tim Schafer game, I thought it was like an action adventure like Psychonauts. I had no idea that this is the kind of game it was in the back half. That's so weird.
Yeah, it's very strange, but yeah, I love this game, and I like it. Like I said, it's got so many things going for it as you're playing through. Yeah, RTS is one of the tags on Steam. Like. I know it seems silly. Like it's tagged with our action adventure, RPG.
It's got it all.
It's got RTS in there.
What do you get the game that has everything? You get it RTS. That's what you get it.
Yeah.
You had an RTS mode, yeah. Does this change your vote, I guess?
No. I mean, maybe his, but
I mean it would change mine to Brutal Legend, but that's still 2-1 to 1.
So the two would win, I guess. I guess how we could. Yeah, I think StarCraft wins either way. Right. Well, I tried to make it fair.
You guys are wild.
I love that Brutal Legend actually made it in here, and that GP and I both chose that color.
Yeah.
All right. Well, looks like StarCraft Brood War moves on to the next round.
In the weirdest way possible.
In the absolute weirdest way possible, but I'll accept that.
The most scientifically accurate measurement.
Let me point to my
possible.
books here. Right there. There's the player's guide for Brood War, by the way.
There it is, right there.
Let me point to my books right there.
Bingos.
Yeah.
Are we pointing at books? I got these guys right there. That's my Final Fantasy anthology. Okay. I'm looking. I am asking. What's top,
you can
bottom?
Go any direction, Chard. You
any
you
direction
pick.
now. Okay.
It's all
now
on
I can
you.
go up and down, left and right, diagonal. All right, let's go ahead and knock this guy out of the way. Because I'm not super confident about either one of these. Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion versus Dune 2. And we're not talking about the movies or the children of Dune, but Dune 2 as seen on the Sega Genesis.
The
Sega Genesis and
the
Amiga and PC and a bunch of different things. That was another one where I wasn't... real quick, GP, I wasn't sure which one to put on there. I know some people in chat had mentioned Dune 2000 it was Dune 2000, and there's another one that came out a couple of years later. But I kept going back to the original. Like we did talk about, was it Hidden Gems, Dune 2?
I think
or
so.
was there something?
Yeah.
And it was like how impactful it was as one of the very first RTS games, how things like resource management and different factions all kind of came from this game. So I felt it appropriate to put Dune 2 instead of Dune 2000. But I like the whole franchise, to be honest with you. And then when we want to talk about Sins of a Solar Empire, I can talk on that one because I have played that game a lot. But sorry, GP, go ahead.
No. I was just going to throw my 2 cents in. My vote is for Dune 2 because of the previous episodes and I think it's a solid entry and absolutely deserves its place here on the episode. So Dune 2 for old GP. Love it.
Old GP.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll make mine
Really
short
good.
and sweet too, because I'm going to probably share a very similar sentiment that GP says. Um, I've never played, but I've watched some of the Sins of the Solar Empire. It seems very, very interesting. It's like a galactic battlefield looking type thing. So you're fighting around planets as opposed to like on one. Um, Again, very, very brief view of it. Seems very vast and large. I love Dune. I like Dune stuff. Um, I did watch a little bit of the playthrough on Dune 2. I think it's pretty special for it to be an early RTS that was shown and what I watched on the Sega Genesis. And you know, you gotta have that farty bass in there with the Iraqans and the worms and Shah Halud and all that crap. And Christopher Walken is fantastic. So I
The way
as
they
you can see,
capture his likeness on Sega Genesis is just really good. I love that Christopher
these
Walken.
worms don't eat my
It's too much
daughter.
dust.
There's a lot of dust. Shah
Yeah.
Halud.
every time my son falls down, we say one of two things: either Jesus Christ is Jason Bourne, or we all scream Nissan Al Gaid.
That's awesome. I need children just for that. That alone. That made my night. I'm going with Dune 2. A total random, but I like the Dune RTS. I like the newer one. I think it's really cool. And if it has anything to do, and it's it's similarities back in the old days of very, you know, resource management, getting the spices and all that stuff. I'm a big fan of that. So my vote goes for Dune 2, even with my lack of distinct knowledge of Sins of the Solar Empire. So GP, you're killing me.
Wolf, you want me to go and talk about Sins of the Empire, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you talk about Sins of a Solar Empire.
All right. I don't think it's going to win, and that because I think nobody's really played it. But I really wanted this one on the list. It's a mix. It's a hybrid game, and that's kind of tricky to get these lists of these games together. We kind of debated offline, you know, what constitutes an RTS game. For example, is something like Total War valid for this list? And we kind of said that's more leans on the 4X side of the strategy side and not necessarily the real-time side. So that was omitted. But this is a game that is more heavily on the real-time strategy side, and the 4X stuff is kind of like a side to it. Even though you can pause, it's still a very active game. You're constantly creating ships and constantly sending them across hyperlanes to other planets and invading. And while it looks like a 4X game, the maps aren't that large. In fact, they're probably smaller than you realize. And you're not necessarily building on planets per se, like you might think, like in other games. You're just fighting over them. When you're actually doing the combat and you're giving orders, it's very much hands-on. There's like a huge, awesome tech tree to customize your ships as they go. There's several different factions, again, very RTS-like. But I really like I really like the idea of like the battlefield is on a planet and there's like a gravity well, and how you're moving across like around the orbits of the planets to get the right spot to attack the enemy. And it felt very tactical when you're issuing commands just on a single planet. And then you can do that across the entire solar system. I really thought it was a really great look. I haven't seen any other game do it like this, right? Like I've played other games, but they're too heavily on the 4X side, like games like Stellaris or Galactic Civilizations. I mean, I think GC, you can't even control your units. But this is one where it's the best parts of 4X I like, but all the awesome real-time battles that I thought was really rad for the genre. So I don't know, this game is pretty solid. It got a sequel. I heard it did not do nearly as good. It's a very small team that makes this game. In fact, when they released it, they supported it for I think it was 4 years, releasing multiple expansions. And then the last one they released was Sins of the Solar Empire Rebellion, which is kind of like the ultimate gold edition. And they added a crap ton of content, Titan ships, like one-of-a-kind faction ships that are really powerful, and all kinds of great stuff. Diplomacy and, espionage, I think, was part of it. Building more fortifications around planets. It's a really solid package of a game. Music's great. Graphics are good. It's just a game that I wish was a franchise instead of basically a one-off, or I guess a two-off that didn't do so well.
Well, it has a cooler title between the two.
That is true.
Sins of the Solar Empire is pretty unique. Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, because I've not played either of these, watching the videos of them, I think I'd be more likely to play Dune 2. one, the music is awesome. I like the little art style and the way the game is presented. Two, when I play a game that takes place that far zoomed out in space with like tactical and stuff, because even was it Spore kind of hit a point where it was
Right.
sort of tactical strategy in, multiple solar systems and everything at the end. And it kind of brings me down. It bums me out.
The vast emptiness of space.
You can
Yes.
zoom in. You can zoom in.
I
but-
understand that, but I mean, it's just you think about it, and it's like, man, all this is probably taking place over years and years. It's depressing.
This war is 4,000 light years away. It's
passage
already
of
over.
time is depressing.
We're just watching it.
Jeez.
That's good. I never thought of it that way.
It's hard because I do like Dune 2 a lot. Like, I love Dune 2. I played the crap out of this game on the Genesis. And this is before the movies. This is before I even read the books. Just the concept of this desert planet that's in the future, and they're fighting over like salt and pepper in the sand, I thought was pretty good. So I do like both of these games. So I'm fine that if you guys want to vote me on this one.
All right. I guess that's 3 for Dune and 1 for Solar Sin.
Yeah.
Dune is Star Wars for Tool fans. I think was
I
the
like
way
it.
that was presented. And
I
I
like
think that's
it.
very apt.
That is apt. I like it. Okay. Dune 2 moves on to the second round. Sorry, Sins of the Solar Empire, but you've sinned too much. It's time to dip. Jake has switched on me as if he thinks I'm going to call him at a different level or row. That's not going to trick you. You will not bamboozle me, sir. I won't have it.
Sorry. When I left the room, I screwed up the names. So I'm just don't worry about it. It's fixed now. I'm done moving things around.
Wonderful. All right. Now that I'm thoroughly dizzy. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. I'm going to save my favorite for last. So we're going to move on to these two here, which is an interesting matchup. We're going to go with Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness versus Warcraft 3 The Frozen Throne. There it
Wow,
is.
that
Does anyone
algorithm.
have
Frozen
any?
Throne.
Does anybody else here have any strong opinions on this matchup?
Can we abstain? Is that allowable? Like,
No.
I'll tell you what. I'll go on my Warcraft 2. Warcraft 2 was kind of the first RTS that I was like into, actually, to the point of where there's a character in that I originally got my first internet name from. Grom Hellscream was I was a big fan of that name. I thought that was a cool name, so I ran with Hellscream for a long time before Chardmonk, and decided to change it because Hellscream was hard to put on emails to people, and it was awkward. So we changed that up. But I really enjoyed Warcraft. I really like the aspect of the tool factions. Again, looking back, probably hasn't aged well. It's still Warcraft, but it was still really cool. This was one of the first games that I was like wanting to get home from school to start playing and move the campaign forward and figure out how to unlock the next faction, because you start with the humans, and then you have to like fight to get to the orcs and all that stuff. It was neat. It had pretty cool little, FMV CGI cutscenes that were kind of new at the time for 1999. I don't know. It got me into the RTS. The little bit of RTS that I play, it got me into it. It was the gateway drug into my RTS life, which is not. It's not vast, clearly, from this episode. So my vote is Warcraft 2 because of what it did for me for the future of my RTS love. So that's that.
Just for the record, Warcraft 2 did come out in 95 originally.
Yeah.
95? My bad.
Yes.
I thought I saw 99. I read it wrong.
A little more like it hit consoles in 97, but Mac and PC it was 95.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me.
So for me, I was super excited for Warcraft 3 because I absolutely love Warcraft 2. Absolutely love the damn game. I have it for the Saturn. That was my first RTS because I was playing Warcraft 2 in the computer lab with friends in freshman year. That's when I was
That
introduced.
sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I came in and my friends were teaching me how to play, and all of a sudden I started kicking everyone's ass. Like these people were familiar with Warcraft 1 and had played that. And I come in and I was just stomping them. And, I
Nice.
lost my first round, and then after that I was like, I get this game now, and just dominated. And so I got the Saturn game so I could play it at home because I didn't have a PC. I found out it was on Saturn. I was like, shit, yeah, I'm gonna play this. And so I picked it up and absolutely loved it. For the record, the file size is bigger than the memory that's in the Saturn. You have to have a memory card to be able to save your file after a point. But I absolutely loved Warcraft 2. The music, the characters, you click on them and they get annoyed with you if you click on them too many times.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep.
Warcraft 3 came along and I was so excited. And then I started playing it. And I was like, what happened to naval combat? Why did they remove naval combat? It's just gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, naval combat was one of the best parts of Warcraft 2.
Mhm.
And then they were like, all right, instead you get heroes. And I was like, well, that just feels like OP. And
Right.
I understand the hero mechanic. It's interesting. Ultimately, I do think it's what led to World of Warcraft, because I know Warcraft 3 was used as a beta engine for World of Warcraft when they were initially planning it out.
You can see the artistic similarities in that game with
For
There's
sure.
actually
had
screenshots that you can
Yeah.
find online, and it looks ridiculous because it's Warcraft 3. But
right.
I don't think the trade-off was worth it. I don't think the hero system was worth the loss of naval combat. I do like the different factions that they have, because they had more than 2 this time, which was great. But I can't get behind the heroes over the naval combat. The naval combat was like, that's the second round of a battle in Warcraft 2.
Right. Yep.
Before you get
Just
to
finding all the
aerial
boats
combat.
and sinking them when they
Warcraft
go
3 was
hide in
just
the corner.
Yeah, and Warcraft 3 was just like, all right, you can fly now.
Right. Right.
It's like your characters just walk over the water, like, because the water is never any deep body of water. It's always just puddles and swamps and shit. So no, it's Warcraft 2 for me. Warcraft 2 wins this round.
Okay.
Winner. Love it.
So, I mean, the thing for me in Warcraft 3, I thought there'd be more love for this game. The reason why I don't like it, I'll be upfront with it, is it's the same thing with what StarCraft 2 had as well, is that there's occasionally these missions where you have to defend for a solid 30 minutes. And as you go, it gets worse and worse and harder. Floods of enemies come at you, and you're kind of hanging on. And my problem with those is I'm not very good at these games. And if you fail, you have to start all over again. And it's another 30 goddamn minutes. I kept getting to like minute 28, 27 and dying and having to restart. And I got really frustrated real fast. Outside of the defense missions, though, I loved Warcraft 3. I played the hell out of it. I really love the factions. They are very much different. I mean, I love the Night Elves are great and the humans are awesome. It's just the undead are cool. Like, it's a really cool system. This is the game, I think, that really hammered home Blizzard's ability to tell a story with their cinematics, right? I mean, everybody loves World of Warcraft and the story of Arthas and stuff. But I mean, this is the game where he turned, right? That cinematic, which is iconic, where Arthas walks in and kills his father, that was this game, right? It was Warcraft 3. The storytelling is awesome in this game. I can see the issue with Warcraft 2 is more about exploring a map. And I did like how you could load people on a boat and you bring them across to another land. That was interesting. And you lose that in this game. This game is more focused on squad tactics in a way, smaller groups. To the point where one of the great things about this game was its modability. And one particular person took the idea of making a mod where you're exclusively based around the hero units, and it's all about small squad tactics, right? And that's where we got Dota from, right? Defense of the Ancients was a mod map for Warcraft 3. And that was the start of an entire freaking genre of games, right? One of the most popular games right now people play is League of Legends, which is basically a spin-off or a reimagining or a ripoff, however you want to call it, of Dota 2. And of course, that all goes back to Warcraft 3. So we have a whole genre of games because of Warcraft 3's modding. And that's pretty fantastic. I mean, I do like Warcraft 2 a lot. Much like you guys, I think my first time playing it was also in the school computer lab on an old Mac. Because, I mean, who had a PC as a kid? And I do have some fond memories of playing that game. But Warcraft 3's music, the story beats, the graphics are great. The character design, I think, is really good. Say what you want about World of Warcraft, but I mean, that game wouldn't exist without the designs and story that was started here in Warcraft 3. So for me, it's Warcraft 3. There's an impact, I think, with Warcraft 3 that you don't see with the first game or the other game.
I mean, I do agree. Story-wise, Warcraft 3 is great, but sometimes you don't want to, like, especially with this type of game where you're sinking so much time into it, I don't want to suffer through mechanics to get a good story.
Yeah.
That's my issue with it, is I've never even beaten Warcraft 3 because I got fed up with the mechanics. I've beaten Warcraft 2 since playing Warcraft 3 with both factions. So
I just like the broader look. I like the actual army style, the RTS portion. Now, I'm not saying 3 isn't, but like you said, it's more smaller squad tactics. Well, this is more Armada, sending out massive units to go and just, raise buildings and plunder and destroy and just get into those all out battles is just a lot of fun. And and Wolf's mentioning of the naval battles are cool, but I always was so mad when you'd wipe out an entire team and you're like, why haven't we ended this yet? There's nothing left. And there's that little small section of fog of war, and you float a scout over there and it clears it, and it's like 2 goddamn peasant boats that they can't attack. They just use it to get oil from the water, but they ran down in the corner and you can't find them. So until you kill them, you can't move on to the next level. It was the only thing that irritated the hell out of me. But I loved it. I this was a great start. I like the Army Foundation versus the squad tactic stuff. So yeah, that's 2 is I think 2 is a fantastic game.
Very cool.
So I'm assuming 2 wins.
Yeah, I'll throw in my vote here real quick and then do two quick little asides. But yes, Warcraft 2 is going to win this one. That's where my vote goes. All respect to 3. 2 I think is iconic, and you guys kind of covered everything. I'm not going to go too far into that. One thing that Wolf said that I wanted to point out, you had said something about fumbling through some mediocre mechanics to get to a good story, is the exact inverse of, and I'm sorry this game gets brought up so much, Final Fantasy Tactics. You're meandering through a decent story to get to really great mechanics.
Right.
And then the other thing I want to ask Wolf real quick is, in your background, you have the logo on your wall with the lights.
yeah,
Directly
The wolf
below
over here.
that, is that an audio recording of Steve Martin's Born Standing Up? Next to
I
the
believe
Ghostbusters?
that's the album. It is. I also have Let's
Yeah.
Get Small, but that's not on the wall right now.
Yeah, I've got that book, and I was looking at that, trying to decipher that. I'm like, that looks like the cover of the book.
Wait.
So
No. I think it's Wild and Crazy. Let me see.
Now you made him leave his chair. He's roaming his
Nobody's
office. He's
gonna
loose.
complain about
Nitro.
that view.
Yeah, it's a Wild and Crazy guy, not Born Standing Up.
Okay, well, if you haven't seen the cover of Born Standing Up,
I have.
Google image that and then compare it, because that is a very classic and very obvious Steve Martin stance. That's all I got.
All right.
Long story short, Warcraft 2.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, GP.
Tangent.
Glad I'm here.
Danny Carey is an amazing drummer. Warcraft 2 wins.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's
Second
solid,
best out
solid.
there.
We have envelopes. We could be doing envelopes instead of picking the wrong
Well,
game. But
you
that's
remember
okay.
how Command and Conquer lost? We're not going to be using those
I don't
envelopes.
know if we trust the envelopes after that one.
Oh boy.
After
All
Turok.
The IOC is busy this current season right now, so
To-
you got to cut them some
in
slack.
defense of Jake, my suggestion of Brutal Legend was like 70% joke.
Yeah. The meme that made it. Yeah.
The meme that made it. Perfect.
The Hawktwa of today's episode.
Oh no, don't go there.
Golly.
We don't
Shit,
need
do
that
you owe
one.
somebody money now for that? Never mind.
Let's get on TikTok. All right.
I like turtle.
We're gonna start selling her hats. That's what she
It's
did.
got the
Merchandise.
juice. All right. So our last setup for tonight is one of my personal favorites versus one that I have unfortunately not played but wanted to play because I've seen some really cool gameplay of it. But this one for me is tops in RTSs. And I still have it to this day and will still play it to this day. Rise of Nations versus Age of Empires 2. Now I'll go ahead and go on my little tirade here since we'll just fire it off here. Rise of Nations is an incredible RTS game that basically starts you out at the Stone Age, at the bottom of the drum. You're building stuff out of wood. You're throwing stones and sticks at people. Like it's legit bottom rung, starting out, very Neanderthalic. As you progress, you can advance your civilization. And the idea of this game is to advance your civilization faster than your enemy can advance your civilization. So basically, when you start shooting, you start out with like bows and arrows and catapults and stuff, and you move all the way up to tanks and F-16s and nuclear weaponry and all kinds of stuff like that. Like it goes all the way up. And if you can get your team up faster and more advanced, then you destroy the other team. And there are times where you do it so quickly that you literally have flying cars around your area and they're still throwing sticks and stones at you, and you just drop a nuke on them and completely wipe out the entire team. It's a lot of fun. I played this religiously with coworkers when I was in Germany for a long time. I loved this game. This game was just so much fun. I thought it had a really unique system of advancement as you keep going. It's like Sim City but dangerous. It's just really kind of cool, and I really thought it was well thought out, and I still have it and I still love playing it. So my vote for this 100%, from blunderbusses to nuclear warheads, Rise of Nations is definitely my number one RTS.
Should I defend Age of Empires? They made it familiar with that one?
Hold on. I want to.
Okay.
I am very familiar with Age of Empires.
Okay.
Char, do you remember how you were complaining about naval combat with Warcraft 2?
Mhm.
Oh my God. In Age of Empires, my buddy and I used to play Age of Empires and then Age of Empires 2 later. We would have like 14-hour sessions. And I mean, that's loose. Like it would be 14 hours from start to end. Like we'd break it up by like going and getting dinner at Denny's and shit and come back and finish. But we would play against each other in this game for like overnight. We'd go to each other's place, hook up the computers and just play all night. And oh my gosh, he would get so pissed at me because I would have plan B, C, D, E, F. I'd set up a dock and build a boat to like send some of the little peasants out onto it and ship them into the middle of the ocean where they would not be found. And I would destroy my dock so that he would not know I did that there.
I know
and
that's
so
strat.
Yeah.
I know that's strat.
And so then he'd have a particularly good match where he'd like destroy me. And he would be like, how come I haven't won yet? What the hell? I don't see your guys anymore. And I've got like 3 extra bases being built. He thinks he found my starter base. He has not found my other bases that are all building up trying to prepare. And not only that, like we had a point where it just went from you get as quickly as possible to priests, and you just swarm your enemy with priests and convert everybody. So much Wololo. It was ridiculous.
That's awesome. That's cool.
So I absolutely love Age of Empires 2. That said, I've never played Rise of Nations, but watching the videos of it, it does look absolutely awesome and like something I would love to play. Are there any units like priests?
I don't think so. I don't recall.
No.
I don't remember. Again, I like the aspect of just advancing your nation and sending in B-52 bombers when they're still building pyramids. You know, it's just kind of like when you blow someone back to the Stone Age, you legit do it in this game. Like it's for real.
I seem to remember you can build nuclear silos to shoot missiles.
Yep.
If I remember right, you can build silos, and no matter which player, but once players start using the nuclear missiles, there's a counter, a doomsday counter, and the game ends if you hit that doomsday counter. Because I remember this now. My buddies would build all the freaking missile silos, and it would be a Cold War standoff because the first person to use missiles, you all start doing it, and the game is over. And I thought that was
you all lose.
Was freaking rad. Yeah, you all lose.
It's
nobody
cool
wins.
thing. You get like 6 missile silos, and you just fire 6 off of them, and you're just like, I don't care if the world ends. You're going down with me. I don't give a shit. Like it's sacrificed the planet. It's
the last 3 hours of gameplay.
Horrible, but
nobody won.
Nobody won. Yeah, it's cool. It's a lot of fun, and where some of my beef with like Warcraft was you can only have like 12 units selected at a time. This one you can have, it seems like hundreds of people that you can move around at a time. So it's I don't know if it has priests. I think the priest conversion thing is a unique feature to Age of Empires. It sounds freaking cool though. But I've always just been more into the whole like futuristic being able to grow your nation and that stuff. So, but it sounds like we got 1 for 1 on this one so far.
Yeah.
GP,
I
you
vote
wanna
Age
vote?
of Empires too on this one.
Fair.
I'll go Empires.
Heartbreaker.
Age of Empires?
Yeah, I know you hate to see it, and it's not an arbitrary thing, but really I don't remember the name of the other one, so I'm going to go with Empires.
Wow.
No,
if I told it to you, would you change your mind?
I'm kidding. Yeah, this is one where I don't really have a ton of expertise or experience outside of watching, other people play. But that said, I am more familiar with Empires, and while I haven't played it, it has been fun to watch, and I understand the mechanics, and it seems, I don't want to say enthralling, but like a good time. So
I'm gifting resignations to
this
GP after this episode.
Don't do it. If you do, I swear to God, I will send you a copy of Getting Over It, signed by someone. I don't even know who.
No,
and you have to beat it.
That's mean.
Rule,
I'm
right?
trying to be nice. I'm giving you something I enjoy.
You guys want me to get my penitent run going? Let's put Getting Over It on the wheel of shame.
You got lots of time, GP. You got at least 5 months. You're good. Don't worry about it.
Already July. This is horrible. Anyway, yeah. So Empires.
Okay.
Sorry, I know I'm kind of.
You're fine, Jake. Don't let me down.
Thank you.
Okay, so I like both these games a lot. Whereas I didn't have as much experience with Warcraft and StarCraft, I think, as you guys might have. For me and my friend group, when I did have a PC, it was a lot of Age of Empires and then Resignations. And Age of Empires 2, I mean, this is the game where you get that sound effect. Wololo, wololo.
Yeah,
like
that's what I said. So much wololo.
It's legendary, right? Like I love that. I love the sound effects. The humor's really good in it. I like the big armies, and the naval combat is really awesome. There's a lot to love about Age of Empires. I played the hell out of this. I used to play as, I think it was the Teutons. I'm probably saying that wrong, but they got a bonus to building structures, and I used to be building walls. I was that asshole who would purposely go to the corner off in the distance, and I would build not 1, not 2, but like 5 fucking layers of just walls and hide inside my 5 walls, my fortress, and draw the match out for 2 hours. I was that guy. I loved building walls in this game, and I wish more real-time strategy games let you kind of build cities in that way. I loved it for that. Rise of Nations, though, is got a fantastic, not just multiplayer, but single-player campaign. It's really good. Much like Dune, it's got like a campaign map, and as you, it's. I'm not gonna say it's Risk, but it feels like a board game in a way, where once you take over one territory, it does certain bonuses to other territories. It's really well done for a single player. I think I recall from the reviews at the time that was one of the selling points. The single player campaign was not just like for story, a story driven thing. It was just mechanically fun, and it's hard to doubt how many different eras there are in this game and how many different types of units there are. Like you got literally, like you said, Chard, you guys are throwing stones. And then you move up your way up to muskets and swords and muskets, tanks, freaking, I think you get up to modern era. I think it is.
Mhm.
I confuse this one with Empire Earth a little bit, but I love it. I love the different factions. I think, was this the one where its power of Russia was attrition, where you lose health when you're in their borders or something? That might have been Empire Earth, but the factions were really interesting, really well designed. This is another one where I think there was a sequel to it, but they went kind of weird with it. In the sequel, I think there was like a Da Vinci faction, and they kind of got strange with the technology trees. And I didn't quite like it, but I always went back to this one. It just enough realism, but then also it got really weird when you have the guys who's an era behind you coming at you with muskets or swords, and you got fucking tanks. I really loved it. And plus the nuke thing. The nuke thing is unique. Like, I have not seen that in any other RTS game. The idea where you have legit Cold War scenario when you're playing with 4 or 5 people and you're all sitting at the same era and you're at a stalemate and it's nukes. And I think that's funny. It's basically whoever has to go to the bathroom or dinner first starts launching missiles.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Whatever.
I think
your mom was the true victor, because she'd call you away from your game.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn it, I can't defend my nation.
It's really awesome. I love Age of Empires 2 a lot, specifically Age of Empires 2. That one I played a ton of it. It's so good, but Rise of Nations to me is the better game. So it's hard because I like both of these. So I'm gonna go Rise of Nations as well.
Sweet. All right, so we're at a stalemate with this one.
I would like to change my vote to Rise of Nations.
Wow.
Pick a color. Really? Green. They're not all bad, I swear. They're not all jokes.
Rock 3.
Lemmings.
You swore, man.
Lemmings is an RTS game.
Is it?
It totally is. Okay, are you at war? No, but it's real time. It's strategy. You're controlling little guys across the screen using abilities to kind of take over the tactical advantage of beating the level. So the pick is Lemmings.
I don't think anybody's going to change their mind on this.
No. Lemmings is puzzle.
I meant yellow.
Did I say green? I'm sorry. I meant yellow.
Safety green, so yellow.
Yeah, there you go.
Pikmin.
Pikmin
is an RTS
see, there's
game.
A solid pick.
Okay. Lemmings is a damn RTS game. And if anybody else there, please back me up in comments on Discord.
That's like, what was that thing you said once? Circus Charlie is an RPG? Or whatever that nonsense was?
Circus Charlie has many layers, GP. It's
okay,
good
so we're throwing in Pikmin.
Yeah,
and
Pikmin.
What's the argument here? Pikmin could possibly win between empires and nations?
Yeah.
It's a family wholesome
empires
story.
And nations. And the names themselves are hard to topple with the word Pikmin.
Do you guys not like Pikmin? Have you guys not played
I'm not
Pikmin?
changing my vote. Will not be changing.
I do like Pikmin, but I'm not changing my vote. I like Age of Empires.
I will change my vote. I hadn't thought of it through the lens of Pikmin. So, I'll switch mine to whatever will advance the narrative. And no, honestly, what you guys are saying, I was unaware of the doomsday clock mechanic. I think that's great. I think that the logic there of, well, this is where we are as a society, it's kind of the end game, but also maybe we just don't have the sight to see what would be beyond that doomsday clock running out. And then just to kind of capstone it with, whoever has to go to dinner first is going to cause the fall of humankind. So yeah, I'll go with the game that has the doomsday clock.
Okay.
Rise of Nations. All right.
Rise of Nations.
Nations moves forward. Let's go.
I'm not upset about that.
Yeah,
they're both
fun.
really good
Those
games.
are hard choices.
Rise of
Age of
Nations
Empires
look
is a classic. You know,
on this
I'm gonna
side
have
of
to
it,
pick up Rise of Nations next time it's on sale, and it looks like it
on
goes
this
down to
side of it,
$5 like every Steam sale.
that one had the better elevator sales pitch going from what I was listening with you guys. So yeah.
The great thing too is both of these games actually got recent HD releases. I think it was Rise of Nations. I think it was 2014. They did a remake or a re-release, and it runs on all modern hardware. It looks great. And then Age of Empires 2 had an HD version, and I think they've added new stuff to it, which is kind of neat. So both are the easiest to play nowadays than they've ever have been before. So they're both great games.
Okay,
nice,
very good.
All right, we have made it through the first round, gentlemen. We are only an hour and 8 minutes in.
Oh, this
is going to go 2 fucking hours.
Yeah, the back half of it was faster.
We're going to turn and burn on these last 2 tiers. So, Are we gonna have a losers bracket too? Do we want to do the losers bracket?
Yes, we should do
Okay.
loser bracket.
All right. So there's 3 tiers left. All right, let's jump right in. Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness versus StarCraft Brood Wars.
Warcraft.
Warcraft 2.
StarCraft. The impact. Esports.
StarCraft.
I can
like the
hear Sinistar screaming.
I could too.
How do you want
I love the mechanics of StarCraft. I like what they
Yeah.
did to make it a little different from Warcraft. I will not deny Warcraft 2 what it's done for me in my RTS life, which honestly, to be fair, it wasn't a whole hell of a lot, but it was a huge game. And it led me into a very long, dark tunnel of RTSs for a very long time, which then led me to my favorite RTS of Rise of Nations. So, but I love the StarCraft setup. I love the 3 different factions, and I love the differentiation between the two. So I'm just,
Lemmings.
I have one more envelope, but I'm not going to tell you guys because you're going to shit all over it. And something tells me you didn't play it anyway, so it's fine. So we need another tiebreaker. Do we dare we go to fucking Metacritic where Jake
The
gets
Mario
fucked again?
Golf Toadstool Tour. It is real-time strategy, and things change on the fly.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
Do not besmirch the good name of Double Dash.
Quidditch on the GameCube. It's a pretty good strategy game.
All right, are we going to Metacritic the winner?
You're controlling people.
Wolf, how close are you to changing over to StarCraft?
I am not. I don't like StarCraft.
No.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in the Warcraft camp pretty firmly.
I'll be the hero of this episode, and I will refrain from my StarCraft vote, and I will change to World of Warcraft. I will change to Warcraft 2 because of what it did for me in my past to get me to StarCraft. So we can
although StarCraft is pretty great.
We don't have to go to Metacritic because I know how much Jake hates Metacritic, and I'm doing this for you, Jake, because I like StarCraft more.
You know what it is? You know what it is that there was the version of StarCraft I played, I rented it, was on the N64. And that's what I'm worried about. There's an N64 version of StarCraft 2 and StarCraft, sorry, and I wonder if that's going to mess things up on Metacritic. I'll get screwed again.
Nope.
To be fair, Warcraft 2 it doesn't appear to be on Metacritic except for Reforged, and I know Reforged was
that was awful.
Pretty heavily panned.
Yeah.
So
by default, Warcraft 2 would win that one. Also, Chart already changed his vote wholeheartedly and without
I'll do it.
consequence.
I will fall on the sword tonight. Everybody know that I love StarCraft, but I'm doing it for this episode.
StarCraft, I want you to know that your number 1 acolyte has abandoned you.
All right,
No,
so
that'd be Rise of
Warcraft 2.
Nations.
Okay.
All right. God, I love StarCraft. Son of a bitch. All right. Last 2 for this tier.
No,
It
so
hurts.
we have a loser
It
bracket.
hurts to be the martyr. It hurts to be the martyr. Dune 2 versus Rise of Nations. You know my vote.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go Rise of Nations on this one. Like I said, it looks absolutely like something I would love. It looks so much like Age of Empires, but with that technology scaling thing.
Yeah.
I like this is a game I'd never looked at before, and I'm like, oh, why did I never look at this before? So, Rise of Nations.
I want to side
Dune
with
2 is
Wolf on
good,
that one
though,
as well.
man. Dune is Dune, though. It's really fucking good. Like, the atmosphere, the theming of it is really well done. Like, this made me like Dune before I read the damn books. Like, Dune is pretty good. Rise of Nations is excellent, though.
Okay, I get you, but yeah, it's gonna be Nations on this one.
I already gave up my seat. All right, I'm not giving up another one.
Are you doing Nations then, Chard?
Absolutely, I'm going.
Fine,
Nations.
then I'll take Dune 2 and I'll give it the 1 vote, so at least it gets some kind of love. It's fine.
All right.
So
I'm running Nations
bracket.
all the way out of here. Nations is going all the way out for me. So, all right, easy peasy. Okay, so we do losers bracket now for bronze. All right.
Yep.
So, losers bracket for the bronze medal, the brass ring. StarCraft Brood War versus Dune 2. I'm gonna reclaim my seat, and I'm going with StarCraft because I love it.
Dune.
But I'm gonna lose.
Yeah, we got 1-1.
Dune.
Jake?
Dune 2 because it's like one of the earliest RTS games
Yeah,
that
it's a
people
pretty first,
consider
yeah.
one of the almost
Yeah.
the first one with the resource
I expect
management.
StarCraft to fall off. Yeah.
Like StarCraft is good. I like StarCraft.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but Dune 2 I think needs to be one in the top 3, so I'd rather pick Dune 2.
I'm not mad to
Alright.
lose to Dune 2. I'm not mad to lose to Dune 2. It's a good game. And it's
Sorry,
an
Chard.
early pick. No, I'm not mad at that one at all. That's a
Okay,
hard one to
Char,
pick.
we're
I
sorry.
love StarCraft so much, but I respect Dune 2 very much. Okay, so
Alright,
gold and
so Dune 2.
silver. It's gonna
Gold
go
and
to either
silver.
Warcraft or Rise of Nations. My opinion for gold, Rise of Nations, of course, followed by Warcraft 2 for silver, and of course Dune 2 for bronze. That's where I'd like to see things sit.
Hear me out. Instead of Warcraft 2, put General Chaos. Have you
So
guys
Warcraft 2 for gold,
have you played General
Nations for
Chaos?
silver. So I'm kind of the inverse of Chart on this one. I'm sorry, buddy. But just by virtue of being more familiar with Warcraft and having a little bit of experience there, Warcraft over Nations for me.
Fair.
As much as I absolutely love Warcraft 2, I feel like Warcraft 2 crawled so many RTS games could run. And Rise of Nations looks like one of those that ran with what Warcraft 2 started. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna join you, Chard, with Rise of Nations. I think Warcraft 2 is amazing. I don't think it's gold worthy, but silver, absolutely.
Fair.
All
Love it.
right, Jake, it's you and me, buddy. Let's take him down.
Rise of Nations is gold, but I don't think Warcraft 2 is silver. I think Warcraft 2 is like bronze.
Hey, you guys put this here. Listen.
Yeah, fine. Rise of Nations is definitely gold.
I
for sure.
reluctantly released my seed. It should be StarCraft personally, but that's just me. Okay. So look at that. That took us 15 minutes to knock those two segments out. So
Yeah, see, we get along. We don't argue.
Found a copy of Warcraft 2 on the Saturn.
No,
Says, no.
I
This
found
one
this
goes-
at Toys R Us brand new. When
Well,
it was
that one
out.
goes to silver for a game I haven't yet played, but like the sound of it.
It's a good game.
I'm
It's a
sure.
good game.
You know what's wild?
This is not how I saw this episode going. But that's good. I like that. I like it when I can't predict things. So well done, fellas.
Right.
What's wild is Command & Conquer Red Alert had a PSP version. Can you imagine playing that game on a PSP?
God. I have a
And
hard
it was
enough time
out
playing
right
RTSs
away.
on my Steam Deck, let alone a
Right away. It made it 0 steps. Like
It did. It didn't even get out of the gate.
it's because we went with
The
Fury
star
for
wasn't here to
Revenge.
protect it.
I got a quick honorable mention. Yeah, Jeff, you're pointing out in chat. Right. It's Empire Earth was the other one I played a lot of. Rise of Nations I liked better for the single player mode. I thought was fantastic. But Empire Earth was also one where you go from caveman literally to the far flung future with mechs. And that was wild. It wasn't as good
That'd be cool,
gameplay
though.
wise, but it had a bigger scope than even Rise of Nations, which is kind of cool. And that was one that kind of got screwed. But
Was
yeah.
Empire Earth an RTS?
RTS, and it was all I want to say it was all polygons. It was all 3D models, and that's why it was a little bit different than Rise of Nations, which was 2D sprites.
Right.
Okay, I was confusing that with something else. Gotcha.
Wow. Another bracketology in the books. I got to say, I love every time we do these episodes.
And we don't hate each other afterwards, so that's a
Yeah.
positive.
That's always good. That's
no
a
more
bonus,
than we
yeah.
did an hour 18 minutes ago.
I am not mad at how this panned out at all. Like,
No,
Yeah.
me
I
either.
was, and I came in rooting for Age of Empires too. So, but
It's
like I
like
said,
Jake and
Rise of
I should start
Nations,
selling stuff. We're a good team on selling Rise of Nations to people.
It looks so
honestly
similar
is so good
and so
yeah.
different in a good way
Yeah.
that I absolutely want to try. And they're both published by Xbox Game Studios or Microsoft
Right.
Studios or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's the same umbrella.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm going to find a way to play Command and Conquer. It's been too long. Yeah, and I'll probably check out a couple other things just to say that I've got a little bit more experience with the RTSs because really I'm pretty limited in my scope here. So that would be fun to check out.
Also,
It's
Yeah,
Jake,
go ahead.
how did you Lemmings and not RimWorld?
Yeah.
Rimworld's not
is
an
more of
RTS
an
game.
RTS than Lemmings.
That's like
Too
a
many rim jokes.
Rimworld's like a
Frostpunk is more of an RTS than
look.
Lemmings.
Lemmings is kind of like the next evolution, or like the granddaddy to Pikmin, right? You're controlling the little guys. You're moving your little guys on the map, like telling them what to do. Like that's real time strategy. It's just not head to head. Although there is 2-player Lemmings on Genesis, which is kind of like an RTS game too. I don't know. Like you guys just don't
What
like
about-
good games. I don't know what to tell you. Like it just Lemmings
Jason,
is
What
pretty
about
I
the
great.
ones
voted
where-
in the same swing. I had to give up a vote because you wouldn't let go of one.
I can't think of what they're called now, but it's like the Bushido blade kind of things. Forgive me, that's going to
Oh,
sound wrong. What am I thinking of?
Dynasty Warriors.
Dynasty
slash,
Warriors.
Oh, yeah, Dynasty Warriors.
Hyrule
Samurai
Warriors.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors. Yeah, the
Okay,
Warriors.
now you're just talking crazy. That's an RTS when you control one fucking guy. That doesn't count.
One fucking
Also
guy.
called a video game.
Yeah, like that's just Warcraft 3, right?
Yeah, right.
You control the
We
units
got
in
a
Warcraft
squad.
3.
We're running a squad.
In Final Fantasy VI, I had 4 different people at once. At the end, there were 17 total options.
That's the real RTS game right there. I am going to say, though, that for the longest time, it felt like we kind of didn't get any new RTS games for quite a while because there was such a focus on Dota and League, and it kind of burned people out of the genre, I think. But now they're coming back. There's been a lot of re-releases. Maybe it's Microsoft mining its IP chest that it's been assembling over the last 10 years, but there's been a lot more remakes of things. I think it was the Age of Mythology is getting a modern remaster, and that was another one that was pretty solid, too. So it's Age of
Nice.
Empires, but mythical creatures, and that was decent. And that's
I'm
coming
still
back.
eyeballing Dune Spice War, which is the newest RTS based around the Dune series.
I hope that's
it's on
good.
Steam. It's got fairly good reviews from what it looks like. It came out a few months ago, I think, so it's still relatively new. But that would definitely be one I'd like to play. I think the biggest turnoff to it was I couldn't play it on my Steam Deck downstairs, so it was like, eh. But
Yeah.
I would love to give that one a whirl as well.
Jeff is mentioning Star Trek Armada 2. I played that one and I couldn't figure it out. I think I got too confused, if I'm remembering it right. But I'm a big
Halo
Star
Wars
Trek
2.
fan. Halo Wars as well. I didn't play Halo Wars. Was that on the original Xbox or was that PC only?
I would
No, that
imagine
was
it
on
would've
one
found
of the
its way to
Xbox platforms.
Yeah.
I don't know I think that was on the original Xbox. If not, it was 360. But
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that franchise is so iconically Xbox. There's
Right.
no way it's not on there somewhere.
Okay.
Right. At least the beginning eras, and I think that was still pretty early in the
Yeah.
Halo world.
Yeah.
Halo Wars was came out in 2009, so I'm thinking 360.
I should give that a shot. I kind of missed the bus on Halo. I never really got into the Halo FPS games until recently. But I should try that strategy game out. There's definitely a lot of lore in Halo I respect, and I kind of should give it a shot.
Lore. I am the lore book. All right, guys. Well, that was a rousing episode. I'm happy with
very
our
roused.
decisions here. Thank you guys for coming out. Let's go round robin.
I'm
Do we
sure
have?
Sinistar
What?
will listen to this later and tell us
Oh,
how
he's-
wrong
oh,
we all are.
He's
but-
We
gonna
will
come to
never
my
hear the
house
end
and
of
burn
this.
it to the ground. Oh, he's gonna
Yeah.
burn it to the ground. Can't wait. Super excited.
We could have talked about DC
speaking-
and Marvel movies for 2 hours. I threw it out there. I tried.
I just wanted to turn this into a Rise of Nations discussion. That's all I thought we were going to do. But that's just me.
It is good. Yeah.
All right, let's go round robin. Gentlemen, do we have anything that we would like to announce or that's coming up or that we're working on? GP, let's go with you first, sir.
I am working on a very big project that's not going to be done for a couple more years. So it would be way too premature for me to really get into that here.
That word's a trigger word in this house, so be careful how you use it.
I got you. So I will abstain from saying anything, although I have recently unpacked all of my collections from the therapy days. And the one game that really stands out to me, because I'm going to get a 2-week break here soon, is Metroid Prime. And now with the mention of Prime 4 happening, I really want to go back and play that on the okay. But the version I have is the metal box for the
The
Wii.
Wii.
So I'm
Wii?
gonna be going
Okay.
through that kind of in whatever downtime I can eke out. But other than that, absolutely not. I don't have anything going on. Yeah, thank you for asking.
Yeah, of course. Werewolf, how about you, sir?
I started playing Slasher's Keep recently and tried recording a couple. I might go back and re-record it now that I have a better understanding of how the game works, so I don't look like a total moron just being boring. But I
You haven't seen me
absolutely
play
fell
Elden
in love
Ring.
with this game.
You're probably fine. There it is. We're showing them off.
For the audio
pull
listeners,
it
they're
up that
showing off their
Warcraft
game
2.
collection and lore books.
Is that? Hold on. Is that this?
Yeah, it's that is my own
P90X.
P90X. Yes, the Elden Ring is my own P90X. That's why I'm not losing weight, but I sweat a lot. Jake, how about you? What do you got coming up, sir?
I mean, I was
any.
playing through Alan Wake because you and I are going to do an episode on that, but then I got derailed because you pointed and showed me how good Elden Ring is again.
Listen,
So
don't blame me for finally understanding what an amazing game that game is.
well, I mean, you guys also told me that instead of Street Fighter 6 Diamond Rank, my state of execution is to play Elden Ring and Millennia. So I've been playing a hell of a lot of that, and I'm actually making amazing progress. I'm almost done. I think I've gotten. Was it Margot the Omen King? I just killed him, and I'm kind of going through the Land of Giants. So I just have to find Millennia, kill her, which I heard was easy, right? No problem. And then beat the game. And then I'm going to pick up the DLC because I've been watching a little bit of you play, and it looks fantastic. So really liking Elden Ring.
My favorite thing about the discussion is that Jake thinks he's almost finished.
How can I not be?
So, Jake, what did we learn about picking our Sisyphean game?
Next year I'm picking Circus Charlie because that's a game that I should beat
it.
more
You
often.
can't pick that.
Yeah, but I should beat it more. What if my challenge is to beat it 3 times in a row? That will be my challenge.
Oof,
But, I don't know. It's
All
fine.
right, and you can find me hitting my head against the wall against Consort Rodan over at www.twitch.tv/Chardmonk. I'm thinking about jumping on tonight. And I'm thinking about doing a chill, get it, Frostpunk stream tonight. Chill, because it's cold, Frostpunk stream. Just because it was a lot of fun to play. I was messing around with it, and I want to get a little bit deeper into it. And I needed a break from running into the wall that I ran into last night for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So,
How have you been playing Frostpunk thus far? I'm curious.
with my mouse and keyboard.
Oh, on the computer, not on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, no, I messed around with it on the Steam Deck, and it was a little difficult. So I came up here and played it until I literally burned myself out of the room because it was too hot. But it was a lot of fun. Actually, playing a cold game in a hot room really fucks with your brain really bad. So I was like, why am I sweating? There's ice everywhere. Oh wait, no, it's 102 outside. But so I'll be doing that. Also, let's give our buddy Sinistar a shout out as well. DJ Spinistar has been hitting those turntables quite often during Mondays and Tuesdays, I believe. It's usually 5 p.m. my time, so 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain, and Central is 7. Yeah, time zones are cool. So go and give him a follow if you haven't already. Love jamming with him when I'm just hanging out. It's good to hear some cool industrial music or some 80s rock that I haven't heard in a long time. So go and give him a follow as well. And yeah, we will be back next week with some more shenanigans. Thank you again for humoring us in our, what I like to say is a real-time strategy of our own of trying to weave our way through this list of games that we've all played maybe 2 of out of the entire damn thing between us all. So
I played most of them.
Phenomenal.
Thank you very
You
much.
played most of them. Jake brought them all and then threw me into the host seat. So that's your fault. Thank you so much, guys. Lemmings is not an RTS. Good night. Good luck.